In Tuesday's opening of COP15 in Montreal, Canada, the United Nations Secretary General has called for a peace pact with nature, as well as a, dramatic step up in the climate actions. COP15, as the conference is known, convened governments from around the world to agree to a new set of goals for nature over the next decade through the Convention on Biodiversity post-2020 framework process. Yahya Jammeh again brings us more details of that in this report.
The United Nations chief made these remarks on Wednesday at the 15th Conference of Paris to the UN Convention on Biodiversity. Originally signed at the Rio Earth Summit in 1992 and later ratified by about 195 countries, not including the United States, it is designed to protect the diversity of plant and animal species and ensure natural resources are used sustainably. It also aims to achieve fair and equitable sharing of benefits from natural genetic material used in everything from medicines to new crop species. Without biodiversity, the entire support system for humans as well as animal life will collapse. The world relies on nature to provide it with food and clean water, for a lot of medicines, and to prevent flooding and other extreme weather effects. Now, speaking to reporters at the 15th Conference of Parties to the UN Convention on Biodiversity, the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres said the addiction to fossil fuels has thrown the climate into chaos.
Humanity's war on nature is ultimately a war on ourselves. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, that is why I called for a peace pact with nature, a bold post-2020 global biodiversity framework with quantified and targeted goals that address the root causes of this destruction and effective mechanisms of accountability. The addiction to fossil fuels has thrown our climate into chaos. Unsustainable production and monstrous consumption habits are degrading our world, and humanity has become a weapon of mass extinction, as I mentioned yesterday, with 1 million species at risk of disappearing forever.
The United Nations chief urges businesses and investors to invest in sustainable production. Guterres said tough regulations are needed to hold the private sector accountable.
We need businesses and investors to put protection first in their business plans and invest in sustainable production and extraction methods across every link of their supply chains. And we need a dramatic step up. Climate action and protection of biodiversity are two sides of the same coin. And we need tough regulatory frameworks and disclosure measures that end greenwashing and hold the private sector accountable. And we need developed countries to provide meaningful financial support for the countries of the Global South as custodians of the world's natural wealth following centuries of exploitation and loss.
The conference will also look at the implementation of the protocols of the Convention on Biological Diversity and deal with the fair and equitable sharing of benefits from the use of nature and the safe transport, handling and labeling of living modified organisms. Reporting for Eyeafrica News, I am Yahya Jammeh.